It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
Knock, the door opens, seek, and you will find. Love is not boastful, love is not kind. Knock, the door opens, seek, and you will find. Love is not boastful, love is not kind. Knock, the door opens, seek, and you will find. Love is not boastful, love is not kind. Knock, the door opens, seek, and you will find. Love is not boastful, love is not kind. Knock, the door opens, seek, and you will find. Love is not boastful, love is not kind. Knock, the door opens, seek, and you will find. Love is not boastful, love is not kind.
All right, that's probably enough messing around. We're here. It's happening. Didn't honestly think it was going to. And here we are. It's year 7. Year 7. Think about that for more than half a second, like I have. Because I've only thought about it for half a second. 7 years in a row. I have done whatever this is. And if this is your first time here, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's great. I can't wait to explain it to you. 7 years ago, I got really jealous of all my art friends because they had a thing that happens every October called Inktober, in which they receive prompts for each day of the month of October. And then they are expected to create a piece of art based on those prompts every single day. I am not a traditional artist. I am a musician, quote unquote. So I was looking at that and going like, that's not something that I can participate in because I'm a musician. I'm not a traditional artist. But then I thought, why don't I just make it so that I can? Why don't I just make up my own challenge? I'll make up my own prompts and I'll do it myself. And I did, and it was terrible. But I learned many things, as one does when you sit down and write 30 songs in 1 month. So I did it again. And then 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 I did it one last time. And now here we are doing it again. Some may say I am a glutton for punishment. I would say I'm a glutton for everything. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Hi, welcome to Newvember. This year, I had an idea of a way to make things a little different. Because last year, if you were around for that, for the very few times that I actually streamed last year sucked. Year 5 was already pretty bad. Year 6 was awful. And I tried everything in my power to make sure that it wasn't. And it was anyway. Here's what I did last year. Instead of doing all of the songs, one song a day for the 30 days, I wrote half the songs in advance and just released them on each of the days that they were supposed to be released. Thinking to myself, here we go. I've written half the songs in advance. Surely I will be able to find the time to do 15 songs in 30 days. And that was actually not really the case. I had a lot of missed days. I had a lot of days where I had to double up. It was bad. It was very, very bad for my mental health and for my health in general. So here I am now. It's year 7. I've had a lot of time to think about it. Honestly, until about 3 weeks ago, I hadn't given this any thought at all. And that may become very swiftly apparent. I thought to myself, okay, how do I do this? Honest to how on earth would I do this? I'm just sending a message to somebody real quick. And if they pop in, that would be very interesting. If not, whatever. Excuse me. So I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? Because it's not like people are going to need me less this year. I am more in demand in terms of my actual career and life and family obligations and things. I am more in demand now than I ever have been, I think, in a very long time. So I'm sitting here, I'm going how do I commit to doing this and actually making sure that I have the time to do it? And 2 thoughts occurred to me. Number 1, I could not just do it by myself. So I reached out to a good friend of mine. You'll actually see his photo just on that poster back there. That's my friend Taylor. Taylor and I used to work at the movie theater. And now we are blood brothers. I don't know. Taylor started a project called Deadweight Citizens Brigade a while back, actually. And it's weird stuff. It's like noisescapes. It's plunderphonics. It's not what you might call accessible music, but I loved it. I heard, I think it was either Nobody or was Afterthought, one of those 2 albums. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm all about this. This is cool. And I was really wanting to, at this point, do my own music. So I actually reached out to Taylor and I asked him some questions. I'm going to turn the mic monitoring off. Hold on. This might mess something up. I had mic monitoring on and it was, because I wanted to hear the sound of my own voice, as I often do. And yeah, now it's starting to mess me up. Okay, there we go. So I reached out to Taylor back then and I said, hey, bud, I've got some questions because you're making music and I want to make music. How do I do that? And he answered all of my questions. And that, in addition to a bunch of other things that were going on at the time, that was what inspired me to start making music for myself, was Taylor and his work and his releases. So fast forward a few years, I'm doing this Evan Williams project thing. Taylor's off doing his stand-up comedy thing. Taylor has reached out to me a few times to do some soundtrack work for him. The big one was, I think it was actually during the event of 2020 where he had this idea to do a documentary on the stand-up comics in Vancouver, and he needed soundtrack elements. And so he reached out to me. He gave me 4 tracks to do. And I did those and I had a great time doing that. And I'm like, man, just like, it's so much fun working with Taylor. And then later on, he reached out to me. He says, hey, I want you, I have a lo-fi album that I want mixed and mastered. Can you do that for me? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I did that. It was so much fun, had great time. And very recently, he and I were actually technically business partners. The business makes no money because it is what it is. But I signed him to my personal label, of which there are 2 artists on, myself and him. And I produced the Deadweight Citizens Brigade Omnibus, which is out. It came out last month, which is just a collection of tracks from some of the original releases, but zhuzhed up a tad, brought up to a more modern standard, one might say, because as much as I did enjoy those tracks, it is very clear that it wasn't a hype. I don't want to say anything mean. It doesn't sound like it got produced at, say, Rain City Recorders. We'll just leave it as that. So, so I did Deadweight Citizens Brigade Omnibus. I did the one before that, which was To Be a Good Man. Both of those albums are so much fun. Hi, Cassie. I'm back. I'm back on the internet. Look at me go. I was just talking about Taylor. Taylor and I are doing Newvember this year. I said to him, hey, what if you do a bunch of tracks, I do a bunch of tracks, and then at the end of it, we just smash them all together and we put that out as one release, because we're already working together in other capacities. So I'm like, this will make it easier for me. So that was number one. That was how I thought, okay, this is how I can actually do this. Number 2 was to completely change up the concept for this year. Green Auto. Jackson and Harry will be there. Who's playing at Green Auto tonight? Sorry, quick distraction. I would like to know this. Who's playing at Green Auto? Green Auto tonight. Oh, the Halloween Fest. Oh, right. Yeah, the cover bands thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, yesterday Sleep Circle was playing as Deftones. Nice. Are they one of the bands that's playing, or are they just going to be there? You'll have to let me know and then I'll read it in the chat. Anyway, the second thing that I decided that I was going to do is I was going to make it so that one song per day was not the requirement. That was the goal. The end goal would be we have 30 tracks. If we don't get there, that's fine. But also, instead of making a separate prompt for each every day that has to be adhered to, we just have all the prompts and we can pick whichever one we want to work on. And we can work on more than one per day if we have the time. Because that's the idea, right? The idea is we want to make this easy on me, also on Taylor, because Taylor is a busy man. He's over in Montreal doing amazing stand-up comedy stuff over there. So we're busy. We have our lives. My wife is here. We have our lives. We have things going on. So let's loosen up the constraints a little bit. So instead of different swords in chat, why? Because my wife is here. So instead of you get a prompt and then you do that prompt for that day, we just have the whole list of prompts. We can do them. Oh, the mod swords. I see. Gotcha. That makes more sense. We have the whole list of prompts. We can do any one of them at any time, and we can do more than one of them per day, which is good because I went on a little bit of a hyperfixation, we'll say, for some time about specifically video game soundtracks. And it has led me to spend a good amount of money on things. Yes, my wife is double gasping because I mentioned the fact that I fixated on something, because that does not happen all the time. I got really invested. There's this one person on YouTube who does like deep dives into specifically like Sonic soundtracks, and they're like, I would consider them like the expert on how they're made. They've done literal recreations of tracks from Sonic soundtracks with all of the instruments and all the things. And I got recommended one of his videos one day. I believe his name is just Nuclear, like Nuke Edge. Anyway, I might drop a link somewhere at some point. But one of the things that I kept noticing was that a lot of instruments kept popping up again and again, like synthesizers from that era and drum machines and things like that. And it turns out that there's a community of people that maintain a spreadsheet of sound sources for video games. And this was like, oh, like this is deep dive material, right? So I go and look at some of my favorite video game soundtracks, and I'm noticing a trend in a lot of these. Because a lot of these soundtracks were made around the same time in the late 90s, and they were all using very similar equipment. They were all using like the Korg Trinity, the Alesis DM4 and DM5, the Roland JV1080, like this kind of stuff, right? And I was realizing like, oh my goodness, so much of my childhood and so much of like the way that I think about music today, because I listened to a lot of soundtracks growing up. I wasn't allowed to listen to real music for 13 years of my life. So much of that collective came directly out of the presets in these machines. And I might expand on that later, but I went on like a thing. I was like, I gotta get some of these. I gotta get some of these, and I gotta mess around with them, and I figure some of them out. And since acquiring these units, which I have, I've got a Korg TR rack now. I've got an Alesis DM5. I can't show you that because my webcam is dead, so I don't have a flexible cam. But anyway, since acquiring some of these, I have had the worst month of work in my life in terms of being busy. I have worked almost 30 hours overtime, and so I haven't had time to play with my toys that I have so lovingly acquired. So then I thought, okay, here's what we can do. Let's make a video game soundtrack for a game that does not exist. And that's the theme of this year's Newvember. We are doing the soundtrack to a video game that was released in the late 90s, early 2000s, quote, released. And those are our prompts. The prompts, instead of being like just random things that I've come up with, we're actually going to go like, here's kind of like a chain of events. Here's some things that might happen in video games, like, and then that also opens up a whole different canister of limitations and requirements, because video game music has to loop. There has to be like incidental sound effects. There has to be this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the thing that is gonna work. This is gonna be a fun thing to do. So that's what we're doing. We're scoring a video game. Hooray! Glad now you're all up to speed. I'm going to show you the document, and this is the document. This is what we got so far. We haven't. Here's what I mean by we haven't given it much thought. We have 5 tracks that we're like, okay, we need to have these, and they are 2 publisher jingles, because you know when you start up a game, you have the Sega, Nintendo, like that sort of stuff. We have an opening theme, and then we have a winter themed area and a snowboarding level. Those are the requirements. Those are what we got. And then I just have a whole bunch of ideas that I was spitballing at like 3 a.m. And we can make more. I would actually appreciate, here's where you come in, dear audience. If you have ideas for like a part of a video game that needs a specific music track, please drop it in chat, because I would love to include it in this year's challenge, because I have not thought of absolutely everything, because how could I possibly do that? I'm not omnipotent. But anyway, so here's some examples of things that we have. A very important meeting with an authority figure, such as a king or a princess or a commander of an army or a god pharaoh or a cat with sunglasses. We've got random encounters. We've got random encounters, but we added bongos because it's a gorilla. We've got random encounters, but it sounds like it's being played by someone who has never touched an instrument for that one weird enemy that shows up. It's feeling like an RPG. Here's Taylor. Here's Taylor, everybody. Taylor's here. Taylor's hanging out for a bit. Ghost House, which is a house with ghosts in it. We have Ghost House, which is a house that is a ghost. We have the unskippable cutscene explaining the deep dark secret underlying everything. We have the game over sound, the save game jingle. We have the gambling level, and then we have the gambling mini game, all that kind of stuff. So these are just some ideas, but these are things that could happen in the video game. The video game does not exist, so we can't like look at it and go like, oh, we need this, we need this, we need this. We're going to shape the plot and the throughput of the album based on what we can actually get done in a month. That's the idea. So it's kind of like Newvember's 1 through 6, but also not at all. It's a new thing. It's a different thing. And who cares? Who cares? We're doing it. So that's what the plan is. We are going to way to nerd stuff. Yes. Yes. That is what it is. So that's what we're doing this month. And we now need to choose a place to start because this stream has been going for, how long has the stream been going for? 28 minutes, and I have not started yet. So, let's choose a thing. I don't want to do a jingle to start. Jingles we can just like toss in there at the end of a stream. Yes, okay, I will stretch. Oh, there you go. So, I think I'm actually just going to start with the first one today. We're going to start with an important meeting with an authority figure, i.e. a king or a princess or the commander of the army or god pharaoh or a cat with sunglasses. Oh yeah, so then these are some of the rules. Obviously, we want to prioritize 90s or oddies or similarly styled sound sources, such as the Korg 01W, M1, Triton, Prophecy, Wave Station, Trinity now, because funny story, I'll get into this a little later. That means go, thanks. The Roland Sound Canvas, JV 1080, Juno, Yamaha DX7, Elisa's DM4, the Spectrasonics Distorted Reality 1 and 2, which was in every soundtrack that I've ever loved. We have that, we're going to use it. Zero G data file and a whole bunch of other sound sources. We're using 90s and 80s sound sources to make this. And then we're also probably going to like bit crush the entire thing later. Those are the stipulations. Now we know what we're going to do. We're going to do an important meeting with an authority figure, such as a cat with sunglasses. And that means it's time to start. So I should probably create the folder. I haven't even created the folder yet. That's how little thought I have given to this at all. Okay. So here we go. An important meeting with an authority figure. That's the name of the track right now. We'll figure out the name of the track later. Or maybe we'll pick track. I don't know. You know what? There's no rules. That's the rules. The rules are there's no rules. Just do whatever we want. Okay. So I have an idea for this one. Let's choose a very regal time tempo. 1 sec. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 88 seems royal. 88 is the most amount of keys you can have on a keyboard. So it's perfect for royalty. Okay. Here's where the funny thing comes in. I spent the good part of a few months searching for a Korg TR rack because the Korg Trinity was one of those instruments that was on all of my favorite soundtracks. But you can either get it in a keyboard size or in a rack size. And I don't have space for a keyboard. So I'm like, I have rack space. Let's get a rack. I spent like 3 months looking for one of these things. I had a hard time because there's tons of them in Japan, but you can't run the Japanese ones. Iraq sized. Yeah. Iraq sized keyboards. Anyway, I couldn't buy a Japanese one because it doesn't run on American voltage, Canadian voltage. So I'm like, I need a rack. I need a rack. George W. Bush, 2000. Okay. I need specifically the rack mounted version of this synthesizer. And I finally found one and I freaked out and I ordered it from some guy in New Orleans and I got it. And it's so much fun and it's great. Literally a month later, Korg releases a virtual instrument version. Do I feel stupid? Yes. But now I have both. I don't know how to play that song. Anyway, that might honestly be the instrument that was used. But this is what I'm thinking. It's the first track on the list. This is the first instrument in the Trinity sound bank. I'm just going to use it. We're just going to use it. There are some, I'll go through some of the other sounds once I'm done tracking this. Cause yeah, the Trinity sounds, oh, they're so good. They're so good. Okay. So here we go. We've got, do we have the click? We do have a click. Excellent. I'm going to turn the click up. Thank you. Oh, that is one thing that I did notice about the Trinity virtual instrument. It clips. It shouldn't. That seems like the kind of thing that one might try to avoid when creating a virtual instrument. But if you don't turn the output down on the Trinity VST, it clips and it sounds bad. Turn it up a tiny bit more. I feel like -6. The most I've seen it clip is like +4, so. So you can see the interesting thing about this is that depending on which note you play, different instruments play. It's cool. Okay. We're meeting the cat. I've decided it's a cat. Could be a pharaoh, could be a sphinx. I don't know. It's a cat. Get that cable out of my face. Meow, 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 meow. I'm really comfortable writing in F. But I'm not sure I want that. One sec. That mode's kind of fun. That's minor. That's Locrian. That's Lydian. So. I think I like that. That's got the it's got the flat 7. Yeah, we can do something with that. Because I'll try to, what I'm doing there's a hack. I call it a hack because I'm a hack fraud. There's a hack that you could do with finding a mode to play in on the keyboard. If you just play only white notes, but choose a different root note, you can get different modes. I'll show you. We play in C. That's major. We play in A. That's minor. We play in F. That's Lydian, etc., etc. B is Locrian. Anyway, G is one of those. I think it's Mixolydian because I think D is Dorian. Yeah, I think G is Mixolydian. Just a different flavor, but in essence, it makes it easy for you as the hack fraud to compose with different flavors of the major scale by just making sure you only play the white keys. Now you don't have to learn how to play piano. It's beautiful. All right, enough messing around. Let's figure out what we're going to do here. I think that's kind of fun. Okay, what was that I just played? Because that's kind of fun. Let's commit to that. Ah, no, I don't want to replace it. I want to record. I think this is too fast. Let's slow it down a little bit. No, I'm not. I'm going to double it, but make it slower. So we're going to go down to 65, which will be 130. Yeah. Two. Nope, I messed that up. Sure, let's try that. Uno, dos, tres. F. Play the F. Play the F, Scotty. 2, 3, 4. That's a motif. That's something we can use. Take out that one bum note that I played. It's there. And maybe we add some more things. Whoa. What's happening there? Quantize. Was that you? Silly goose. I'm just gonna add the next layer. MIDI. Where's my record mode? Record mode. MIDI overdub. Here we go. Sure. I don't. I think that might be too busy. I'm gonna try with just one. Yeah. Nope. Try that again. That's too busy. Too much movement in the lower end for my taste. I think we just need to do the roots. Those get rid of those pedal points too. Those are messing it up. I have a habit of hitting the sustain pedal when I don't need to. So let's just edit these to be the right length, I suppose. Right, we need a little gap. Not that much of a gap. A little gap between the notes is nice. Yeah. 1, 2. There we go. I think it's a good place to start. And then we can like flow into like an ambient sort of thing at the end there, or like bells or something. So let's get some instrumentation. Funny enough, the Trinity also has drums. It also has orchestral pieces. Drums. Let's see what we got here. Not those ones. Fun, but no. Okay, hold on to that. I want to use that for something. That's cool. See what I mean? There's just fun stuff in here. Very gorilla level? That might be gorilla level. We'll figure that out. That happened after I pressed the button. Oh my gosh. See what I mean? This is great. This is so many cool sounds. Okay, where are those? Where are the where? Maybe it is in the orchestral section. That'd be interesting. Scoring horns. Philharmonic. No, these are all just like actual orchestral instruments, not drums. Don't tell anyone I said that. Yeah, so all of these are actual like orchestral instruments. Okay, so we're not gonna, unless there's, maybe it's like hidden in here. Dance waves and drums? No, doesn't look it. I could have sworn there were more like actual drums. Maybe I'm crazy. Orchestral? Yeah, no, not in there. Well, good thing we have 50 other things from that year that we can use, like the Korg M1. I'm sure there's some drums on here. If not, I'll boot up the DM5 maybe. Let's see. Oh, I was also looking only in the combination things. Okay, I'll look again. I'll look again now. I don't want to. This theoretical composer of the time, let's say maybe he only owns like 1 or 2 synthesizers. Here we go. Here's some drum kits. Okay, orchestral. Yeah, that's a timpani. Lots of fun stuff we can use there. Let's start with just the timpani. Well, actually, if you're a timpani, you've only got 2 notes, don't you? Right? Because you've got the one and then you got the other. So you can't go like, you can't, unless you have more than 2. So we got 2 timpanis. D and G. That'll work. There's some timpanis. I don't know how to write for timpani. Do I look like I know how to write for timpani? Okay. Let's get some more stuff in there. Let's get some, now that we know where all the drums are. Drums, orchestral. So cool. That's not orchestral. That's not orchestral at all. Yeah, we're not using that. It's fun. That's fun as an intro. Let's do that as an intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Except I timed it wrong. But you know. Yeah. Now we're talking. MIDI overdub. Actually, let's just loop this. We can do that. We can just loop things. Oh, am I not quantizing anything? Have I not quantized a single thing this entire time? I think I have. I think everything's completely unquantized. I am so silly. Also, let's make sure these are all the same velocity, shall we? Just full. 127 all the way through. The sky is very pretty, apparently. Oh, yeah, it is. I don't think you can see that. That is very nice. Thank you for letting me know, sweetheart. Yeah. Also, I'm going to get rid of the lead-in notes there because I think that's, again, just a bit too busy. We'll put in like a little whoop, something or other. Okay, so we're going to loop this. And see how that sounds. Ah, I see what the problem is. We have to do that. Yeah. No, and then after this will be like the loop point of the song, where it's like you sit there and you're still looking at this cat and he's talking to you, and it just goes on in the background. This cat that I've decided rules the place. What else we got here? I have no idea how to write this kind of music. We're just winging it. I don't know about that. How does one write a whatever that kind of symbol is? Is it just like on the 4? We've decided it's on the 4. It keeps defaulting to selected notes. I don't want selected notes. I want all notes. I want to quantize all the notes. Why are you? This is so strange. All notes, please. Quantize all notes, please. I don't know why I have to keep asking you this. This is so strange. It's never done that to me before. Is it doing it here too? Quantize. All notes. Okay, so it just like saves it per thing? That's weird. All notes. Yeah, it's not there. Okay. Yeah. Get that in there too. I'm not so sure about that. Okay. There's some interesting things in here. We gotta have the triangle at some point. That's where it is. Those just go on forever. That's dangerous. Okay. We got the timpani for the lows. We've got the snare. We got the... we've got the triangle that I'm going to take out of there. I'm going to put it at the start of here. Just make sure it's in the right spot. We'll just put that up there because then the loop point will move forward and it won't have the leftovers from the orchestra going into it. So we can loop it from this point to the end if necessary. And then it should be a clean loop. I mean, clean loop. Okay. Those are the bones. Let's fill out the flesh, shall we? Let's see here. What do you got for me, Korg Prophecy? Apparently, you don't load. There it is. We got it. Yeah. That's why I'm like, this era is fun. Let's look at some motions. What do we got for soft synth leads? Brass. Oh, whoopsie daisy. It's just cats. Oh my gosh, it's cats. I like subconsciously did that to myself. That's the theme from Cats. And I'm writing a song about meeting a big cat. Whoops. I'm not getting anything terribly... This isn't really inspiring me that much. Hi. Are you cold? Do you want to
cool you down.
Do you want to turn the fireplace on maybe if you're...
No, it's just cold outside.
Oh. Were you doing the freezer stuff? Is that why?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Gotta remember that one. Okay, wait a second. I'm just looking at the factory sounds. I don't want to just look at the factory sounds. It's interesting. Not what I'm looking for this, but I will remember that one because that's a cool sound. Good heavens. I kind of like this one. I don't know if it fits, but... No, that sounds like the intro to Xanadu by Rush. Not what we want. Okay, Cassie. Thank you for stopping by. Love you. See you later. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Thank you. Have a good night at Green Auto. Have a good time with Green Auto. Say hi to the boys for me. I mean Xanadu by Rush. I'm not sure which Xanadu that one's referring to. I think that's a nice sound. Let's toss it in there as a sort of underlying. Oh, water. Oh. Okay, that's funny. Xanadu couldn't escape if I wanted to. Xanadu. Yeah, that's kind of a fun sound. Get that 7 in there. That's helpful. Yeah. We can sweeten that up a little bit. We can take some of the lows out, make it a little crispier. I think that'll be nice, and just do some sort of panning, or maybe not. No, we can do panning. We do panning. They had panning in the 90s. Panning existed then. I mean, okay, we know where the loop point is. The loop point is there. So what's our game plan now? Right now we're in 12. So I've been working on this for like a solid 40 minutes. I don't think there's much that needs to be added to this, if I'm being totally honest. I think maybe if we just get some like weird 90s noise in here, we'll have something. So let's get some weird 90s noise. Let's go to our Media Explorer and let's check out our good old friend, Distorted Reality 1. The best sound library ever made. I guess you can't hear any of that, can you? Can I change that? Yes, I can. I know exactly how to change that. Scott, you're so silly. You're such a silly doo-doo dum-dum. Just change your input routing for the loopback source. Job done. Easy peasy. Okay, now you should be able to hear what I'm listening to. Okay, so this is a lot of drums. Yeah, let's just throw that in there. It's the 90s. Who cares? These kids aren't going to grow up to be scared by any of this stuff. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm second guessing myself on that one. We could use the classic Iceland. Which you will recognize if you've ever played Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. We're kind of like, we're meeting this guy, right? He's like a regal guy. We need a noise that begets his status or her status. I'm not sure it's in here. Good heavens. To be fair, I have not gone through the whole Distorted Reality pack to actually see like what's in it. So, you know. What should I call it? Maybe Waterloo. Got that stuck in my head now. Thanks a lot. Sure. It's very like sort of, oh, there's something spooky going on here, but yeah, I think if we get some like reverb and delay on it, that sound all right. I'm not finding anything in here that I think I want to use for this. So let's check my 0G folder. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do a quick mix on this, and we're going to see if there's anything else that this needs. Because it might not need something. This is just like you're walking up, and here's the cat. Pharaoh, Sphinx guy. Lady. So let's do a little bit of a mastering pass on it, just to get it sort of at a level that is acceptable. And also, I want to try putting a filter on it to make it just within the range of something like an N64. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So let's throw a bus comp. Let's comp the bus. Auto release 4x10, a little bit of a filter. Should be good. No makeup, please. How loud are we getting here? There we go. Nice little 2 decibels of gain reduction. We're also going to... What am I going to do? Oh, yeah. That's the other thing that I'm going to do. I am going to load a reverb on the master because I am a sick son of a gun. And I put reverbs on masters. Let's go. Let's see. This feels like this should be like a church, right? These PS1 reverbs are so much fun, by the way. If you have an impulse response reverb, or a convolution reverb is the proper term, which you do if you own Reaper or just have Reaper. These are great. They're Shirobon put them together. They're on Bandcamp. You pay what you want. And you get the reverb impulse responses. They're good. Let's load up the church and see what happens. Well, first let's listen to it wet. Take the click off as well. We don't need to click anymore. Just reference, this is dry. It's a nice reverb. It's based off of the ones that were included with the PlayStation 1, which is why they're called the PS1 reverbs. I guess I can't make them any longer, can I? It's probably fine. Probably don't want to make them any longer. Okay. So we got the reverb, we got the bus compressor. Is there anything else that I want to do on the master? Yes, I want to take this kilohertz bit crusher and I want to crush everything. I want to crush it. We're going to put the DAC quality very high. We're going to set the dither very high for right now, and we're going to set our bit crush to. Let's do some research together, shall we? Let's look up how many bits is the N64 sound chip. 16-bit stereo audio. Oh, it's 44.1. Really? 16-bit 44.1. Really? There's no bit depth over 16 bits. The N64 is available as a true 64-bit system. Huh. Maybe we don't want the N64. 64-bit audio. That's or like a 16-bit 44.1. Interesting. I'm interested now. Where's the section on audio? Game packs, controller, technical specifications. Unified, CPU and RXP is output through a DAC with a sample rate of up to 44.1 with 16-bit depth, matching CD quality. However, this level of fidelity was rarely used due to the high CPU demand and the storage limitations of the ROM cartridges. Most games featured stereo sound with some supporting Dolby Pro Logic surround sound. Okay, so it can do 44.1, but it might not because of storage. So, how do I Google this? What bit depth are most N64 soundtracks? Let's find out. On most machines, the sounds being played were decoded, pitched, and mixed to a 16-bit output buffer, usually at 22 kilohertz, and a 16-bit reverb buffer. All the mixing was done in 16 bits, so it was really easy to exceed that range. Okay, so some of them were heavily compressed with low bit rate. Okay, so it actually goes, the bit rate limiting for the audio was before the reverb, and the reverb was then very interesting. I'm interested. So it did the reverb after everything. Okay. All right. Let's see what that does to us. So I guess because we still do all of our studio stuff, we do all of our compression, we do all of our EQ, and then we crush it down so that it fits on the cartridge, and then we send it, and we've mastered it, then we crush it, we send it to the system, and then the system adds the reverb on top of that. I guess. Interesting. Although a lot of these sounds, they're not even, we're cheating a little bit. We're not doing it exactly how they did. Because a lot of those sounds, they had to do them on like separate tracks, and like the sounds weren't being mixed. They were just occurring at the same time. And yeah. So, excuse me, goodness. So we're let's go 22. And let's see what kind of a difference that makes. So this is what we're not getting anymore. So it takes out a lot of that sort of high-end noise. Very interesting indeed. I'm going to render out this prophecy track because those tails are way too long. They just keep happening. And I'm going to take that. I'm also going to put it at the end after the loop point, so that way it sort of fades out the end of the track. And now we're gonna put some other stuff on it. So the way I understand it is that when you're making these things, you grab the samples. The samples have already been made in a studio somewhere, so they have studio equipment that they have used to produce these, right? Like, we're not expecting, say, the PS1 or the N64 to apply compression and EQ and a whole bunch of stuff to these tracks. You do all of that beforehand, and then you sort of like pre-effects all these tracks, and then you send them to them. So I'm saying that because me applying EQ, compression, and some reverb effects onto these tracks is not cheating. It's not breaking the rules. It's just it's how they did that, right? lower value will add dissonant aliasing in the low frequencies. A lower value will add dissonant aliasing in the high frequencies. Amplitude lower value we're 16 bits. Yeah, that's good. Just drive it mix for the quantization. Yep. Yeah. That's how we do it. That's how we crush bits. 22.1. Difference. That'll be for the soundtrack version that gets released 40 years later. Right, I was doing something there. Let's render all this out. And then we can put our effects on it. Yeah. Because yeah, I think. Thank you for your service, Trinity Tracks. Go down there with the rest of the MIDI. I think I want to do some stuff with this noise. I want to give it some delay. And we're going to use, here's an idea. Let's use the delay that existed at the time. Is that even doing anything? I genuinely don't know what this... I've never used one of these. I'm just going to throw that out there. I've never used this kind of tape echo. I know it's a very popular one. Never had to use it. Dark slappy ambience. Not ambulance, ambience. Dark slappy ambience, as opposed to a dark slappy ambulance. Genuinely can't tell what it's doing. Do the bounce around. Yeah. No, it's definitely doing that. Let's add a reverb to it too. Make it sound a little less in your face and a little more spaced out. Where's that lexicon? Here we go. This is also a reverb that I've never used, but I know of. I know of the lexicon. Something or other. I know it was used on Blade Runner. I have no clue how to use it, so I'm just gonna grab a preset. Snare ghost notes. Nope, not that one. Loose chamber. Yeah, let's cut out. Let's EQ this a bit. And no, they didn't have Pro Q3 in 1984. I don't care. This is a huge window. Why is this window this size? Let's also just space it out a little bit. Kind of do one of those. I'll just do it on the track itself. So we're gonna go in here and we're gonna go pan pre-effects. And we're just going to create a nice long event. Oh, nope. Insert new automation item. And we're going to go in here. And we're just going to give it a nice, I don't know, ding, 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 or like, I think like a is kind of what we want. So we want sine wave. You can see it's automating it so that it does that. Give it a few more cycles. Yeah, look at those waves go. Look at them go. And then we'll just no, I don't want amp skew. I might not want that much amplitude. Just like enough, just enough to make you notice that it's going around your head. Yeah. I think that reverb time can be a lot longer. Let's give it some more reverb time somehow. Decay. Yep. You can go a bit longer. 16-second decay. Bit longer. 22-second decay. A little bit more distance. And that's just going to that's going to be in the background. That's going to be underneath everything else. Okay. I'm not sold on the bit crush. What if we does that even do anything? Oh yeah, it does. Do like 33. Right. I got to cut out some of the lows in that prophecy because there's too much low end in it. And that's the end of my sentence. Yeah. I'm gonna put a nice fast compressor on the snare. That's not a compressor. It's an LA 6176. What are you doing, Scott? You're not even paying attention. Let's put 1176 on it. Just to cut some of the transients that are happening. I feel like it's a bit much. I forget how 1176 works. Right, you turn the attack up to make the attack faster, right? Yeah. Such a silly thing. Whatever. Okay, so we got the taking some of the transients off. Over here on the whatchamacallit, timpanis. The timpanis, we really want to emphasize, but we want to kind of cut out some of the flub. So we're going to put a transient designer on that. Ooh. Transient shaper. My bad. They had those in the 80s, I'm sure. Go look it up. Did they have transient shapers in the 90s? Most influential and revolutionary audio processors of the late 90s, the transient designers. We did it, chat. We figured out that it existed. Okay. Transient shapers are really cool, as I found out. Because you can do stuff like this. And like completely change the sound of whatever it is. Whatever it is that you've got. It's neat. It's black magic, frankly. We don't want pump. We just want less sustain. And maybe a little bit more attack. There we go. Without it. See how those notes, like, they go on with it? Transient shapers. Huzzah! Okay. Orchestra. Just a little scoop. Let's see how that fits in the whole mix. Yeah, it's got legs. Let's give that a nice verb. Once again, we will bring out that lexicon. I will learn how to use this at some point in my life. Ensemble chamber, perfect. What does that do? It's like magic. It's like a freaking magic trick. That prophecy's definitely got to be a hard fade. Like he's talking. There you go. That's something. Okay. Now's the part of the show where we do cheat because I'm lazy. I don't have time to do a whole bunch of stuff. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to KH Insider, and we're going to download a track from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, or Majora's Mask. Maybe Majora's Mask, actually, because Majora's Mask has more tracks that I actually recognize. That's not true. Why would I say that? That's not even true. I definitely know Ocarina of Time better than I know Majora's Mask. I barely even played Majora's Mask. Okay, Ocarina of Time. For the Nintendo 64. When did that come out? Came out in 99, didn't it? 98. Oh, it came out in 1998. Wow. You gonna let me download all this stuff? No. Sorry, I'm doing this in a window that you can't see because this is secret. Where's a song that kind of like this? So obviously, though, the instruments we're using are also a bit higher fidelity than this. 90, whatever. I don't need to make excuses. I am just having a fun time. Actually, you know what? That's a fine enough song to base this on. Put that in the. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna put this in a new folder, and we're gonna call it Zelda. We're gonna see what happens if I base the mastering of this song off of an Ocarina of Time song. And like I said, this is where we're cheating because they definitely did not have this technology in the 90s where I can just go, hey, Isotope, give me Ozone 12. And it goes, okay, I'll master this. Thank you. So we're just going to put that there. And we're going to say, hey, I want this to sound like YouTube downloads, Zelda. I want you to make this sound like the Hyrule Field main theme, please. And then we're going to go in here. We're just going to go, yeah, bounced. And let's make it not too loud. And you're going to listen to it for 60 seconds. And we start the assistant, and it does its job. This is not an advertisement for Isotope Ozone. And now it's going to sit there and it's going to think about it. And I might, what's the word? I might freeze for a moment because it's going to use a lot of CPU. Okay. And that says, here's a great starting point. Here's the best that I can do to make it sound like the Legend of Zelda Hyrule Field main theme. And so you can see it's done an EQ curve. Usually it's a pretty nice EQ curve, but I don't think we need 2 decibels of gain in the lowest. We can turn that down. That's silly. The stabilizer module, I can't stand. I put it on cut instead of shape because the shape does some weird stuff that I don't like. We're also going to not choose the modern. We are going to go way back to IRC1. No upward compression, no soft clipping, no fancy stuff. We're just going to go a nice smooth compressor or transparent, nice transparent, transparent limiting. Yeah, the EQ, you can live there. Why is it doing that? Who's doing that? Is that doing that? I don't know if you can see that. There's like an inaudible amount of noise coming from the lexicon. You just wanted to use all the emotes? Is that what that was? Hey, hype! Oh, haha! Those emotes, by the way, done by Now Zero. The coolest. Gotta catch them all. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this says it wants to do 9.5 LUFS. I definitely don't want to do that. Are you just bored over there, sweetie? Let's just see what it did to this. And if it made it too loud. It might have made it too loud. That might have made it too loud. Check my meters. Stand up and stretch. That's too loud. Come on. Come on, Ozone. Don't give me that. I'll give you halfway. I'll give you a nice, good, like upright. Oh. One of those. How's that? Is that good? Okay. Yeah, definitely did not need to be that loud. I think it still needs a slower fade in, so I'll put that in there. But yeah, what else do we got here? This impact module, honestly, couldn't tell you what it does. Let me get rid of it. Isotope like insisted that I take the impact module every time. I can turn it off. I should just turn it off. I don't know what it does. But for some reason, I always feel like it's making things sound worse. Imager's fine. Equalizer's fine. That's a nice spread. Yeah, the clarity module is just, it just brings out a little bit more like high mid frequencies. You can see what it's doing here. Can't do like a thing there. We turn that off. Just gives a little something. Yeah, like I said, this stabilizer, I'm just going to, because I have to go on a soapbox. I have to do it. Wait, I had it on shape. I don't want it on shape. This is it with shape. And this is it with cut. Shape always does weird things. It always boosts like 500 and 750 and some other stuff. I'm like, I don't want any of that. I don't want it. I grew up listening to Metallica. I don't want anything in the mids. Get these mids out of here. Is this doing anything? Okay, yeah, it's doing something. Can't really tell, but whatever. I think this is I think it's pretty much done, if I'm being honest. It's like you walk in to the front door of the castle, slow pan up, and then very slow pan, there's this big cat. Welcome, traveler. You have come to my kingdom to kill this dog man. I got a whole bunch of money for you if you can kill that dog man. It doesn't actually talk like that because this is the PS1, so it's like. Yeah, that's done. Okay, I want to figure this out though, because this is a thing that is important for this specifically. I want to figure out how to generate a loop point in Reaper, because you can do that. You can make WAV files that have loop points. How to Reaper, how to include loop points in WAV files. We're gonna figure this out. To include loop points in WAV AI, get out of here. I'd like to place loop points and export them as WAVs that can be directly loaded into a sampler. Use markers at loop points, and when you export, enable the embed markers options. When I get understood as a loop as regions and loops in the WAV format of just contact tracing regions. The WAV format has a loop chunk and a queue chunk. When you export markers from Reapers, it seems to put them into loop chunk, although when you import a wave with loops, they show up as queue markers. And the loops have always been compatible with context of the loop partitioner, so I never questioned it. Not helpful. Loop points and other pieces of ours is showing you the actual loop to the given points. Their item are is really better. There's got to be a way to do this. We're learning things today. Do I trust the AI? Select the desired insert marker, add marker, time selection. As a embed marker, the loop function may not be supported by all players. So then it doesn't necessarily work. So the loop point says no, that's not what I want. I specifically want this to be exported as a WAV file with loop points because I have those. I own some. That wasn't one of them. I own files that have loop points in them. It's right there. I can see it. I can see the points. Data block start 1 2 queues. Queues. That's a queue. That's a queue. Okay. Hold on a second. Reaper. Render WAV with queue information. Shut up. Queue sheets. Queues are already embedded in I genuinely. Oh, hold on. That's Cubase. I couldn't find out either, so I just used Reaper. It seemed easier. Can you tell me how to do that? Okay. Well, we know where the loop point is. It's here. So let's go. Create region. Okay, we've made a region. So what happens when we render this? We render it as a WAV. Oh, hold on. Regions only. Embed tempo. 44.1, yeah. Sample rate. What's my sample rate? 48? No. Okay. I'm just going to see what happens if I render that. Okay, so that has a region in it. So now, if I go to that file, oh, it has a loop point. Okay. So then if I do this, I'm just testing this out. I've never done this before. If I load this into contact, where's contact? Where's contact? Contact, where are you? Oh, it's in VST3. Duh. Okay. This might crash. I'm just throwing that out there. This may crash. Oh, it survived. It did it. Did it do it? Are we alive? Contact. Man. This is why I like never use contact for anything. Okay. So we're in contact now. So this is wave editor. It's got the loop point. Hold on. No, hold on. No, I don't want to save the changes. So if I go in here, this exists now. I just want to see if it loops. That's all I want to see. I'm doing like the, no, Clark, don't save me from the tornado. I haven't even seen that movie. Just know it from the meme. It loops! It freaking loops! That's cool. Now I know how to do that. That's really cool. Okay. Sorry. Okay, well, it's done then. We finished the song. Bam. Mark it off. I don't have a title for it yet, though. So let's save this, and then we're gonna render it to a different folder. We're gonna call this songs with titles, because we don't have a track list yet. We don't know in what order things are going to happen. So we're going to call this, I keep calling it a cat, but I think it is, it's like a royal sphinx type thing. Is there a pun that I can use? Like Cat Royale? Cattle Royale? No, because then that's a cow. Regal Cat. There's a cat cafe. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Purr. Cat's pure. Meownarch. That's it. That's the one. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So, meeting the Meownarch? No. The Court of the Meownarch. Or just Court of the Meownarch. Or Meownarch Court? No. Court of the Meownarch. Court of the Meownarch. That's hard to say. Yeah. Court of the Meownarch. So now we know a truth about this game. At some point, you meet a cat. And it's the king. It's the Meownarch. It is royalty. Okay. That's all I have time for today. That was well, hold on. There is one thing that I could do today. I could do like a publisher jingle or something like that. I'm just gonna throw Court of the Meownarch in there. And I'm going to green that. Again, this is not the final track list. This is just what we've done. Okay, so that's done. Get rid of that. Okay, Court of the Meownarch. I could do like a publisher jingle or like a save game jingle, but I feel like if I commit to doing that, I'm going to be sitting here for like another 40 minutes. And ooh, I saw that. I see you doing that, Taylor. I see you doing that. Underground City. Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, you'll have to show me that when that's done, because that's exciting. Okay, cool. But that's it for me. Taylor's got something cooking. But that's it for me. How do I do this? How do I do this? Do I go to the... How do I do this again? Is that how I do it? That's how I do it. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Does this have the... This has... I'm trying a whole bunch of new stuff this year, including putting a nice lookup table on my camera feed. I feel like it's like doing something weird to my face, but my face is also doing something weird today. So anyway, that is it for me today. This first day of Newvember, I've written a song about meeting a cat, and it sounds like PlayStation 1. That was the goal, and we did it. So yeah, I will be back at some point. Literally don't know what I'm going to be doing this month. I have no plan except for what you've already seen. So we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to make a bunch of stuff. And it's going to be a month of making stuff. And hopefully by the end of it, we'll have something. It's going to be good. Thank you for joining me today on today's stream. I did the thing. Thank you, sweetie. I will see you again another time. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Oh, Toy Story 2. I need to get that.